Okay, now it looks like it's working, so shareable link, paste and go, shareable link. Okay, now we're actually cooking with some heat. Starved, I'm gonna eat a little bit. So through the day, taking a second look. Trying to figure these things out a little bit. And they actually do work, unlike my video last night where I was thinking there was something wrong. So last night I was showing how the holes don't line up with the holes on the rim. And then I got to looking again, figured out, okay, because the hole, you know, I thought, well, God, I got two holes. I thought they kind of, one of them would go in there, but the holes don't actually line up. They straddle those bolts. See, in the center of the front ring, there's these indents here, kind of hard to see with the reflection. Right here, there's an indent, and that's for the head of the bolt. So when you put that down there, that head of the bolt slips over the head of the bolt. And when you look through, kind of hard to see here, but the bolt holes, a little right there, bolt holes are on the sides of the rim. They actually don't go through the original hole, which is why they're offset. They're made to go above it a little bit. And it took me a minute to actually realize that today. Actually, what I did is I got looking at the rear rim, and the rear rims actually they fit this rim. See, these ones slide out really easy. They slip in and out, and that's pretty much, you know, not as snug fitting. They could be opened up and just a millimeter or so taller. The rear ones don't. You gotta force them into the wheel a little bit. Let's see if I can get this out. On the back ones, they're chamfered for the spokes. And I got looking at that, it's like, wow, these ain't lining up either, you know. Whenever I got it to actually line up, the holes for the stock bolt on the rim was centered in between these two holes. Now, this is when I was first looking at them. And I thought, what the heck? So I moved things around, you know, found the rim and found where it actually met up, where the chamfer holes for the spokes here meet up with the actual spot on the rim. I think that's the wrong one. No, maybe. But you gotta have them in the right spot. It's kind of hard to see sometimes. I'm looking for the chamfer spots to make sure they're lined up with the rims. They're on some of them, but not all of them. So you got to move things until you get everything lined up properly. I think that's the right. That looks correct. The chamfer holes for the spokes line up in the right spot. But anyways, once you get everything lined up in the correct spot, and like I said, these back ones are nice and go through. See if I can get you a shot here to see through here, but you can see if I can get it lined right there. You can see through those holes, see? So they actually straddle the bolts that secure the reinforcement wheels on the rear rim, the ring's got to be in the right place so the chamfer areas on the edge of the reinforcement rings cradle the spokes and don't push into them. So you got to make sure you line them up. And on the front, it doesn't matter. They just go through. You just got to make sure the front bolt side is over top of the heads of the actual bolt, and then just line them up and put your bolts in, which is what I'm going to do on the front one, because right now, for some reason, I don't know where the heck my bolt's at, so I got some here that I'll use. Get a couple bolts up here to hold everything in place. Wow. He's actually using 2.5s. Alright. I'm going to have to go find my damn bolts. They do. Use a 2.5 millimeter. I'm going to have to figure out what I did with my darn bolts. Son of a dog. I stuck them someplace and I don't know where in the hell I stuck them at. I thought I put them with the rest of my Promoto stuff, but obviously that didn't happen. So anyways, at this point, yeah, I can't even put these together. I have to find my right bolts. Hot racing reinforcement rings will work. Like what I was mentioning on my video last night, I was thinking there was a manufacturer error because I thought they were set up to replace the stock bolts and clamp together using the stock bolt holes on the rim, and they don't. They're actually designed to slide in and their bolts go through and hold the top in. Now, one thing I will recommend to them, now that I realize exactly what's going on, is they've got it set for all the heads to be on one side. They need to offset that so one head comes in on one side and then one head comes in on the other. That's going to better balance the rim side to side, and yes, that will make a difference. That little bit of extra weight from all the heads being on one side could cause some balancing issues. So, for future reference, put your bolts for countersunk one way, and then the other bolt, matching bolt, goes in the other side from the other way. So you got to put bolts in from both sides of the wheel, the rim, and that will balance those out. So okay, I'm going to have to find screws, the right ones, countersunk 2.5s. But I didn't want to go over that because last night in my video I was, thinking there was a problem. And I'm glad I took a little time and re-looked at it, because there's not a problem. It was just I wasn't quite understanding how they went together. And whether tired, not paying attention, or what have you, I've got it figured out now, and hopefully now you do too. So, alright, I'm going to cut this out so I can eat my cinnamon toast and throw a little food in my gut. Thanks a lot for hanging. Hit that like.